All right. Well, hi, I am Jason Pride. This is the Financial Breakthrough Show and Podcast. This is episode 1. I'm excited to be starting this on a weekly basis, and I'm even more excited to have Miss Laurie here on the show as the first guest to just kick us off and give some awesome, valuable content to all you guys. The whole point of this show is to just deliver just bite-sized content that can really help you guys really expand not only your financial knowledge, but just your business acumen and just help you succeed in whatever it is, career-wise, investment-wise, that you're going down. And Laura's just she's successful in network marketing. She's a mother. She's got an awesome work history, and she's just a really powerful, warm, loving person who's got some tremendous skills around business and networking. And I can't think of someone I wanted to just leverage more first here to just get some knowledge to you about what we can do to be successful in business overall, and especially in the networking and sales community. So welcome, Laura. Thanks for being on here.
I am so honored to be number one. Thank you so much. Thank you for that warm introduction. I don't know how I got to be the lucky one that goes first, but I am grateful. So thank you so much.
Definitely. Well, I know that I know you're successful with network marketing for one, and in and of that, one of the skills that I've noticed you really have is just this ability. When you connect with people, it's genuine. And your network has seen the fruits of that. It's not very many places I go where I talk with someone and they don't know who you are in the West County, St. Louis area. And so, can you speak to that more? What advice would you give to people networking, and also why and how is that so powerful?
Yeah. So, that's a great question. I didn't know a lot about networking when I first decided to be an entrepreneur and start my own business. I really didn't know, but I made it a point to meet as many people as I could, learn about them, and to make networking not about me, right? So never walk into a room and say, who's going to help me? I walk into a room and I say, who can I help? And I firmly believe that the universe reciprocates. It's just a mirror, just gives you back what you give it. And when you show up to serve other people and help other people and build other people up and help them grow their businesses, learn about them, the universe just gives that back to you. That just shows up in your world. And so I've made it my mission to support small business, connect who I can connect, to meet everyone I can meet. And just really get to know as many people as possible. So that's been my whole networking philosophy, is who can I serve, who can I help? And I'm passionate about small businesses and supporting them and really helping them to grow.
Yeah. And am I right that you actually lead one of the ICAG groups in the St. Louis area? Is that right? Are you still doing that?
I do. Yep. I lead a networking group every week on Tuesday mornings. I love doing it because it's just a great opportunity for me to put people together and connect people, and just help small business owners and entrepreneurs, grow, get connected up and meet the people that are going to help them grow their business.
So if there's a business owner out there who maybe is new to this networking thing and doesn't quite know how to leverage it, maybe is a little uncomfortable with that idea, what advice would you give them of where to start, where to help, what to do first, and really how to approach networking?
I am a huge advocate of showing up to see who you can serve, not who can serve you. So if you're brand new to all of this and you're like, where do I start? What do I do? Where do I get connected? I would just start locally. What's local to you? Look up networking organizations local in your community. I think the other thing that's really important is you've got to find a mentor somewhere along the way here, right? If you're getting started in business, you're starting your own business, whatever that looks like, grab a mentor. That mentor, if they're successful, is going to know where the networking is, right? Where to get connected. Ask that person, where should I go? What's a great networking group? And I always say when it comes to networking, you're going to probably kiss a lot of frogs before you find your princes in the networking world, right? So, don't be discouraged if you meet 10, 20, 30 people that all just want to collect your business card and never really connect with you. just know that if you stick with it and you have that giving philosophy where I really want to know you, Jason, what do you do? Who do you need to meet? Let me connect you with anyone I know. How can I support your business? If you come at networking from that perspective, you're going to grow as a person. You're going to find your princes through the frogs. You know what I mean? But definitely grab a mentor, someone who's already successful in whatever their industry is, but has success, and let them mentor you. Ask them questions, pick their brain. Most successful people love to mentor new people. So.
And that's funny you say that, and I love that point that you brought up, because I feel like you actually were that for me. I met Laura at a ribbon cutting with the business I owned before. We were networking, and she reached out to me and advised and gave me some insights on where to start, because this was one of the first networking events I went to, and I was uncomfortable with it, not having been there. And she introduced me to a group at the time called NTI. That's great. So thank you for that.
It's now really helpful.
Yeah. And I also like what you said about, it does take time. One of the things I noticed was that with my networking, when I first started out and was looking for referrals in business, and also, like you said, looking to connect others, it did take about 6 months of consistent networking before referrals did start coming my way from these networking groups. And so that is an important piece as well. It's really consistency is key with that. Mm-hmm. And when you go to those groups, especially weekly groups, things like the chamber, your local chambers of commerce, or even in St. Louis, we've got ICAG and NTI. Those are the other couple two I know about. Yeah. Consistency is really key in that. And because people do business with those who they know, like, and trust. Amen. Right. And so the more you can build those relationships, and Laura, like you said, just focusing on what you can do for them and focusing on that relationship first is going to. Yeah, thank you. Well said.
And that consistency, Jason, is so important, because I've had people say, well, I went there, but I didn't get any business out of it. And that is the biggest mistake of networking, right? If you show up at a networking event and you think you're going to walk in and get tons of business, that's the mistake. Like, you're going to go in and build relationships with people that you're going to cultivate over time, and they're going to become your best referral partners because they know you, they like you, they trust you, right? So networking is really about building relationships, not showing up in a room, collecting business cards and expecting everyone to give you business, right?
Right. And there's a concept I've heard called like push versus pull energy, where when you pull people, it's because they're willing and they're wanting to come into your space, where push is you're kind of forcing that energy on them, or trying to force that sale on them. And you're right, when people do show up and give that, hey, well, I went there once and didn't get any business out of it, you do kind of tell that they're going in with the idea of, all right, who can I sell to in this room? Whereas one of the things I believe you told me early on was that when you go to network, it's selling through the room, right? You're not trying to have those people buy your product. You want them to refer people to you. And in doing so, you build that relationship. So
super important. And, if you think about the referrals that you give, whatever they are, like maybe it's you love your dentist or your hairstylist or your whatever. Why do you love them? Because you know them, you like them, you trust them. They're taking care of your teeth. They're taking care of your hair, whatever those things are. So to expect somebody to refer business to you without building that relationship is kind of silly, right? I mean, it really is a relational situation, and building relationships so people want to refer you,
Yeah, I've seen that also. So one of the other things that I know is so powerful just in the sales world, and I want to pick your brain on it also, is when people are really truly living in their purpose and they have something that they're passionate about, that really comes out in sales, and just it explodes the business to a whole new level, right? You can tell when somebody is passionate about something and truly at a heart level cares, and somebody who is doing it for a paycheck. And you're someone who I know is always been on that heart level. Everything you do is genuine. Can you speak more to that and just the power that you've seen in that in building your business?
Well, it's funny that you put it that way. When I got started in my business, I'm in sales. There's no question. but I left a corporate job and I started doing this. And I was so passionate about serving and helping other people that I insisted I wasn't in sales. So I kept saying, well, I'm not in sales. I'm not in sales. I'm helping people. I'm helping people. And just through some time and some investigation, it's pretty clear I'm 100% sales. But like you said, I'm so passionate about what I do that it never felt like sales. I wasn't like, what are my sales quotas? What do I have to meet? What do I have to sell? I'll do anything. It was always about the people and who could I serve and who could I help. And I think when you're that passionate about something and you're that committed to serving and helping other people, that sales piece, you never feel like a used car salesman. And not to knock used car salesmen, we need them too. But I just never wanted to be in sales. I always said my whole life, I don't ever want to be in sales. I never want to sell anything. But at the end of the day, we all are selling something, even if it's ourselves. And I think when you're passionate about what you do and you're passionate about serving other people, you never really feel like you're in sales.
And so one of the things that I've heard at some of the leadership and sales training that I've been to is they'll ask a question. They'll say, all right, who in here is in sales? And, usually the people who actually have salesmen in their job will raise their hand and everybody else will stay there. And the comment they always make is, well, everybody's in sales, right? It doesn't matter what you're doing. Even if your kids are in sales, right? They're selling you on trying to stay up later or get extra dessert or something like that. And even in a marriage, you're selling your ideas to each other. I mean, everything is sales. And having that passion behind that and that why, if you don't believe in that product that you're selling and it's just memorizing a script, that's when, again, that push energy comes out. You're just pushing on that person and people can feel that. Have you been in a networking room where you felt just that push, where it's like someone just making that sale, you can tell it wasn't from the heart? And
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I totally agree with you, though. I think when you have a passion around what you're doing, it really makes a big difference in terms of how you approach your business, and how you approach what you're doing. But it took me a while to really concede to the fact that I was in sales. And then I realized we all are, just like you said, we're all selling something ourselves, our products, our services, our thoughts, our ideas, whatever that is. So there's always that element.
Yeah. And another thing that I've noticed, especially from you, because for those of you who don't know Laura, she's a health and wellness coach. She's helped me with part of my fitness journey and my health journey as well. And one of the things that I noticed with her is that there's always, and one of the rules of sales that I've heard that helps people be really successful is give more value than people expect to receive. And that's something I noticed from you right from the beginning. Anytime I had a customer service issue, you would help. You would be the one who would call that 1-800 number to help. It was never on me to do that. If I was swamped and there was a sale and I wasn't able to, get to my computer in time, you'd help make sure that the transaction went through, just above and beyond what someone would expect. Why do you do that? Why did you do that? And tell me more about just that philosophy that I've learned from you.
I think, sadly, we have become a society that is very automated, and people just have come to expect minimal levels of service. It's just, you go online, you order something, you want to talk about that order, there's no one to reach, right? Like, if you have a problem, like, I'm not knocking Amazon. I love all the packages they've delivered to my home. But if you have a problem and you need to talk to a human being, forget it, right? It's impossible, right? You have a problem with so many other things where you just need to talk to a human being. You can't do it. And I think what differentiates people in business is the level of service that they're willing to give their client. And if you really want to set yourself apart, whatever you do, whether you sell a car, whether you sell a home, or whether you sell insurance, or whether you're a financial planner, what's going to set you apart is the care that you offer your client. Because let's face it, I can go online and buy insurance. I could sell my house for sale by owner, right? I can figure out how to invest for myself. We live in a world with technology that allows us to do a lot of things without needing other people. So if you really want to set yourself apart, you have to be willing to provide a level of service that person isn't going to get somewhere else. And that brings value to the person. So like you said, if you had an issue or an order didn't ship or there was a problem with the product, it's a hassle for you at this point to have to handle it. But if I take care of it for you, your life is easier, right? And you're appreciative of that level of service, right? And so if someone goes online and buys auto insurance and they have to file a claim, but they can't get a human being on the phone at the time they need the service, is that really beneficial? But if you come and get insurance from me and you get in an accident and you call me and I pick up the phone and I'm like, oh my gosh, Jason, what happened? Right now, it's a whole new world. So the level of service, and this is, one of my tips for business owners, is offer service to your client that far exceeds any expectation they would ever have. And you'll have them as a client for life. And if they don't stay a client, they are always going to tell people how amazing you are, even if for whatever reason they're not your client anymore, right? So they may not need your particular service anymore, but if someone says, who should I call for, car insurance, they're going to say, oh my gosh, you should definitely call Jason because he took amazing care of me. And, that becomes your reputation. And that's really what sets you apart. So I'm a huge advocate of offering service above and beyond what anyone would ever expect.
Yeah. And one thing is that people also, in my experience at least, they don't remember service that is as expected, right?
Mm-hmm.
All the reviews that you see online are either a 1-star or a 5-star.
Right.
It's either someone hated it and they wanted to go online and rail them and make sure that everyone knew how unfair it was and how awful these people were, right? So an exceptionally bad service or an exceptionally unexpected service. And so I love that. If you want to be memorable in business, get people coming back to you, give more than they expect. If you're delivering what they, anytime I've even texted Keith, your husband, for insurance questions, and bam, he gets back to me. I can tell that he takes that seriously, that level of service. And one other thing that I've read and learned, and I'm not sure if you've had this experience also, is that customers are actually one of the highest creators of customer loyalty is when a customer has a bad experience and it is handled very well by that business. So customers that always have a generally good experience are loyal, but it's been shown that actually those customers who were doing good and then had a bad experience and that was fixed or corrected better than they expected are even more loyal to that business or that company or that salesperson, because when a customer is irate or mad or anything like that, they don't expect you to come in with compassion and come in with love and handle it and take ownership of their issue. And I thought that was fascinating. And so when I was running a client service business like that, that was one of the main focuses we had. If there was ever a complaint, give more back to them than they would ever have expected. Yeah.
I was in a similar type of industry, and that level of customer, if there's a problem, we're going to fix it immediately. Like the most important thing you can ever do is fix a customer's problem and make them happy. Being right doesn't win you customers. Fixing problems wins you customers.
Yeah, and I'm sure this will be a topic on many future broadcasts here, but one of my favorite topics to talk about is how people would rather be right than be happy. They'd rather be right than be rich. They'd rather be right than anything else on the planet. And so that comes into finances, that comes into business. And
because in relationships too, sometimes we're so determined to be right in our relationship that we can destroy it, right? Instead of just saying, absolutely. And it happens a lot in the customer service realm where, someone's just so determined to be right with a client that they lose the client and their reputation in the process, So
not worth it, especially if you want your business to grow. Focus on the customer, give more value than they expect. Yeah, love it. Okay. Absolutely. Well, hey, we're getting close to time here. Laura, what parting advice or words of wisdom would you want people to know that are maybe in sales or just getting into networking or what just tips for business owners would you give them to help bring their business to the next level?
Yeah. I mentioned it very early on. I am a firm advocate in finding a mentor. It doesn't have to be somebody specifically in the same industry, but someone who's successful and is accomplishing or achieving things that you want to accomplish. And then pick their brain, see what they're doing. How are they living? You know, what are their habits? What are their routines? Ask questions. There's so many successful people that would love to mentor new people in business. And find them. You know, one of the great ways to do it is to start networking. You're going to find a lot of successful people out there in networking and people who would love to provide guidance. I think the other thing that's really important, if you're an entrepreneur or new business owner, you have got to work on your own personal development. Being an entrepreneur, being a business owner, you really need to work on your mindset and how you're going to handle the roller coaster ride of entrepreneurism. Is that a word? Entrepreneurism? Entrepreneurship.
It is now, it's not.
And it is a roller coaster. It is an absolute, you know, there's days when things are so amazing, and then the next day things aren't so great, and then the next day things are amazing. And if you don't have the mental faculties and the ability to weather that, you'll be out of business faster than anything. So that personal development piece and having a mentor it's been critical for me and huge for me. It's probably and network. Those are my big pieces of advice for sure.
Great. Well, thank you so much, Laura. I've certainly appreciated this time, and every time I speak to you about this stuff, I always learn more. So thank you for that. Again, thank you for tuning in to this first episode of the Financial Breakthrough Podcast. Business owners out there, entrepreneurs, and we just hope that you picked up some nuggets to be able to use and implement. Future shows, we're going to be talking everything from real estate to personal development topics, different investment, taxes, everything. So that way, no matter who you are, you're going to get benefit from this. And we're just so excited. Thank you, Laura. And we look forward to seeing everybody next week.